the waist. It is not below the waist. It starts in the brain. Your largest sex organ that you possess is your brain.
Tune in for discussion on all sexual matters. Sexplosion on Power 102. Empowering you.
Well, Dr. Raj is back with us. Let me say welcome back, brother.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Tired, but
I
good.
know we had a little hiatus there because of a few reasons, not one. But we are back. Sexplosion is back, and we're here to answer your questions. We're here to discuss things that are happening in the world of sex. And it's an interesting world that we live in when it comes to that. There's so many things that are happening out there. But we have a lot of issues right here in Trinidad. And, you know, I came across two of my clients recently, one Tuesday and one today. And the one that I came across Tuesday, he was saying, you know, when he came for his first consultation, we were discussing certain things that can be done, what a person would should be doing, how they should be living their lives and whatnot. And he said he took that advice and he realized that he was doing things not the proper way. He wasn't enjoying life the way he should be enjoying life, and he realized he was making some mistakes. And when he actually changed things up, he realized that, hey, I'm functioning better now as a person. So he didn't need to go through it all his treatment and whatnot, and that's fine. Another guy I met today, he said, when I first came to you, you gave me some things to do and also some things to take. And the things that you gave me to take worked so wonderfully well. For 2 years, he didn't need to come back. So I said, did you do the things that I asked you to do? He said, no. He said, now I'm coming to do the things you asked me to do. He said, but it did work. I must say it did work. It's just that I didn't follow through. I said, well, that usually happens. What happens in situations like this? That's why I like to have a one-on-one with the person, because sometimes a person just needs to hear what they need to do, and they do some minor adjustments with their life and things change. It may not be a fantastic, drastic change, but it will be a change, and a change for the better. Sometimes the person would say, well, let me take one aspect of that and see if it applies to me and what happens to my life thereafter. And they see positive things. And I have no problems with that. As long as you follow what is being told to you and you are having a better life. And one of the things we have to admit, and it's very difficult for people to admit this, but a good sex life means a good relationship. A good relationship means less stress. Less stress means betterment in life. And that's the bottom line. You live a better life when you have less stress. Women who are in a stressful situation with their spouse, men who are in a stressful situation with their with their wives, they are going to have problems. You see, sometimes you see it etched on their face, sometimes you see by their movement, the things that they're doing, you see that. You see the strain, the discomfort, the stress that they're going through, and sometimes they take it out on you in whatever arena you meet them in. So it may be something totally unrelated to sex. It might be something that has to do with a professional interaction with the person, but you're not getting 100% of the person. And you yourself know that, you know. So, but why am I not getting 100% from this person and I'm paying my money? Or I am expecting that I get more off of this, but I'm not getting that what I'm supposed to get. And these are the challenges we have. But I like when, that's why for years I've been on the air here telling people what to do. And I have no problem in telling them what to do. If they do the little steps to change their lives and they have a better life with it, maybe they will remember me somewhere down the line. Maybe at the end of the day, if things work out well for them, they'll say, well, yes, at least I listened to a program called Sexplosion, and on that program, Dr. Raj spoke of these things, and it was great. And I transformed my life. I have a better relationship with my partner. I have a better relationship with my co-workers, my friends. I am less stressed. If that helps you, by all means, I like that. I am happy for that, because Power 102 puts out a lot to have this program on. And the support is always there from the station. The people have to support by listening to the program and trying their best to apply some of the things to their lives. And that's what we need. We need to have that happening. So when you're looking at all the different aspects of life and the different things that you come into contact with on a day-to-day basis and what affects your mentality, your behavior, the way you feel about yourself. And that's another thing, a lot of people don't feel good about themselves. When you think about, today I was listening at, I can't remember the percentage, so I don't want to call a percentage, the high percentage of suicide in Trinidad. And Trinidad have one of the highest percentage in this part of the world. You will tell yourself, well, what happens to a person who has everything? In your eyes, he or she has everything. In their eyes, they are not happy. They are not happy. They don't have someone, and that, I'm always thankful that I have the quality of friends that I have. That we could spend time together weekly with one another. We put aside a Wednesday for that. And we will go and do things that we're supposed to do outside of our business. They're all businessmen and whatnot. But anything that we have to do outside of our business environment, we will put it for a Wednesday. So we'll leave early on a Wednesday and we'll get some things done in Port of Spain. We'll get some things done in Tacarigua, Tunapuna. Sometimes we go back to Mausika. Sometimes we go to Londonville. We go to Chaguanas. And we're heading south. Reform, Gasparillo. Sometimes we go as far as Point 14. It depends on what we have to do. So it is not only a journey to get things done. It is a journey where you could talk to one another, you could discuss issues, you could even make jokes about things and each other, and it's a joyous situation and a joyous time. So we call it our Liming Day. But the amount of work we get done in a Liming Day, it is unbelievable, because sometimes we come back with parcels because we'll stop and buy stuff also. So when we drop off, whoever is dropping off, it's one vehicle. We don't go with multiple vehicles.
Right.
We must all fit in one vehicle. We drop off with our parcels, and sometimes it's a lot of parcels. So, but that's because we're buying things also. Something we may need for home, something we may need for a project that we're doing, something that, you happen to come across something and say, hey, wait a minute, I needed to get this, to get that done. So you buy it. But it's not about the money you spend. It is not about the amount of things that you accomplish on this particular day. It is about the camaraderie with the people who you enjoy spending time with. And that is a distressor. So my advice to people also is, do the things you like to do. If you like going out, if you like making a cook, going to the river, and well, of course, something I try to discourage is the abuse of alcohol. And the reason for that is I think if a person wants to enjoy themselves, they could enjoy themselves in any environment, but they don't need to abuse anything. You don't need to abuse food. You don't need to abuse alcohol. You don't need to abuse cigarettes. You don't need to abuse drugs. You could get high off a life. But in sexology, it also teaches you that you have to balance the things that you like and don't overdo it. So if you are, let's say you like to take a drink. Taking one drink may make you feel a particular way, but multiple drinks may get you to feel differently about yourself and your environment. So why chance it and cross that line? Know your limits. But again, it's the person's choice. You're free to choose what you want to do. Totally free to do what you want to do, because you have that within you to heal yourself by the things that you do, the things that are going to be positive in your life. When we're treating individuals at the clinic, now, of course, for those who don't know, we have a clinic in St. Augustine, one in Princestown and one in Davie. Princestown and Davie is on a Tuesday, and those who want to meet at Princestown or Davie, they go there, they make their appointment, or they can call the numbers at the store and make their appointment. In St. Augustine, I'm there 4 days in the week, because it's where the majority of my clients are. So they come to St. Augustine, but it doesn't mean to say I wouldn't adjust that later on in life. I may go to Davie and Princestown twice for the week. I don't know how it's going to pan out in the next year or so. But this is what has been happening. So when persons come, it is not simply to get a diagnosis of what is happening, do a consultation and given direction on what they should or should not do, but it's also trying to find out a bit about their lifestyle, a bit about what's working for them, things that have been happening to them. Sometimes you ask them, well, when did you first experience this form of sexual dysfunction? And they'll tell you, well, 2 years ago. And I said, okay, what happened to you 2 years ago or prior to that? And a person might say, well, I lost my job. I was retrenched. Someone in the family died. I had a falling out with another family member. They may not give you all the details, but then when you tie it together, you'll realize that a stressful situation took place in their lives and it is affecting them mentally, physically, emotionally, and sexually. So why pay attention on the sex part? Sex gives us a certain amount of euphoria, happiness in our lives. Sex done right affects the mind positively, not only your mind, but your partner's mind, your partner's well-being. Therefore, that act, whether it takes 5 minutes for you, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, you should perform to the best of your ability. So when you actually spend that time with that individual, he or she has a level of satisfaction. That's what you should be striving to accomplish. Sometimes we are selfish and we only think about what's best for us, for me, not us, not me and my partner. What is going to work best for me and not so much me and my partner? If you think along those lines, you are going to be defeating the whole purpose. So the sexual side of you also is what I've always termed to be the alarm system that you're born with. That alarm system that you're born with tells you when something else is going wrong. Now, it's not the only alarm system you have. Some people get chest pain if they're going to get a heart attack. Some persons get upset stomach if something is happening with the digestive system. There are different things that happens. But if you pay careful attention, you'll realize that it does affect your sexual being and your sexual system to a point. So if you're paying attention to your sexual behavior or your sexual feelings and you realize that there is a change, both male and female, this does not apply only to the male. Because I know some women will say, well, it doesn't apply to me because I'm a female and I could deal with things differently and whatnot. But the alarm system works both ways. It works for both male and female. So if the female is noticing a drop, experiencing something that is changing in her behavior sexually, something else is going wrong. One of the things that happens to a lot of females is you have a drop in the hormone levels. Now, I came across a patient recently, a female patient, who doesn't have any feeling for sex. Not at all. Simply because she was not conditioned in that way. Meaning, no time in her life, according to her, she was thinking about sex. She was involved in anything sexual. She was enjoying anything sexual. So she did not know what sex was about and how it affected her. Now, later on in her life, she's in a position now where sex becomes an integral part of life. Excuse me. But she's not enjoying anything because her body is not adjusting. Because she never did anything sexual, according to her, in her life. So yes, now that she's found a situation where sex is important, she don't know how to react. She don't know what to do. She don't know how to feel. And the terrible thing about it is her partner also don't know what to do.
Okay.
Maybe the same situation. Sex was never an integral part of their lives. They did not think that sex was important. There was no practice of it, whether by masturbation or actually having sex with someone. And it adds to the adage that we always use of use it or lose it. If you do not use your sexual system, you're going to lose it. because there's no use for it.
When you still lose it.
Lose the feeling, lose the appetite, lose your libido, lose your erection, lose your ability to enjoy sex, not get wet, be dry, unable to penetrate the woman, it's painful, all these things, you lose it. You totally lose it, and that's a terrible situation. That is something, when it happens to you, you start checking back and saying, but if something wrong with me, what's wrong with my life? Why am I like this? My friends are telling me that sex is supposed to be like this. Dr. Raj is saying sex is like this on the radio. I am seeing it in movies and television shows and whatnot, but I don't have those feelings. So you question yourself whether you're normal or not. But you're normal, but abnormal sexually because you have caused yourself to be that way. Now, it's not like an organ that you have, like your heart. There's nothing like in the heart that use it or lose it. When your heart stops working, you're dead.
Yeah.
End of story. Kidneys, your kidneys stop working, eventually you're going to die from that, kidney failure. Liver, same thing. Brain, same thing. Well, if your brain goes there, that's the end of you.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So it's not like if you don't use it, you lose it. But your sexual system is something, if you don't use it, you are going to lose it. Because what happens is you're not putting it into practice. You're not attuning the body. Now, you may have a thyroid problem. You may have a hormonal imbalance. And if you don't try to overcome those issues that you have, some women may change body weight because of certain situations in their lives, and they find it difficult to lose the weight. Some persons may have had a child, and because the child is taking up a lot of attention from the person, the sexual part of it is suppressed. But you are a sexual being. We are sexual beings. If we don't put it into practice or put it into use, eventually it's going to subside, and you will not have the feeling, and your husband comes on to you or your wife comes on to you and you're indifferent.
Yeah.
You're indifferent. So that's what we do at the Adult Therapy Center. We don't only, there's not a pill out there for every little thing that happens. Sometimes the person needs to talk to someone. Sometimes, let's say for example, it's somebody who is widowed. Their spouse has died, and they may have picked up or met someone that they want to start something with, but they never talk to anyone about the sexual side that they enjoy with their spouse. They're not going to talk to their sons about it. They're not going to talk to their daughters about it. They may not even talk to their friends about it because the friends might have a certain respect for your spouse.
Yeah.
And they don't want to disrespect that. But they want to talk to a total stranger about their life, the things that they used to do with their spouse, the things that they used to enjoy, and they would like to enjoy it still in life. So they come to me. They sit down and spend time talking about all the different things that they used to do from when they started off, the things that the adventures that they had sexually. And again, you can't go and talk that with someone who knows you or know your spouse, or knows you and your spouse together. You can't tell them about the exploits that you may have had with your wife, or the things that she may have liked, that you also liked, that nobody else knew about. But you could go and tell a sexologist that, because they know it. First of all, it remains secret with us. We're not going to say, well, he and his wife used to do that, or she and her husband used to do that. We can't do that. We don't break that code of confidentiality when someone tells us something. As a patient or as a friend or as an acquaintance, even when somebody meets me on the road and tells me something and say, well, I hope this remains confidential, I'm like, you're trying to insult me or what?
Are there behavioral patterns that will turn off partners?
Behavioral patterns within the relationship or external
We're talking
things?
sex here.
Yeah, but yes, if your behavior changes towards your spouse, towards your partner, that will turn off the other person, especially if it's a negative sort of behavior. We change as we go along in life. We change with the way we see things, our perspective and whatnot. But today I was discussing this with someone who is into the health arena. And all these drinks that they have out there being sold, the stimulant that you have in the drink keeps you wired. The brain gets no time for the patterns to come down. Your brain don't go to rest, but it comes down and it finds an equilibrium and things are okay and whatnot. When you go to sleep, you are more relaxed and you enjoy your sleep. You don't have sleep apnea where you're stifling and all those things. When you drink one of these drinks, it keeps you wired, and then you end up with a short fuse. You get angry very easily. Excuse me. And I dare anyone to tell me no, that they drink all these energy drinks and they don't feel that way at some times. But another thing that happens, when you drink those things, the body comes down and it crashes. Because the body needs to get rid of all this toxin that you have put in. The toxin comes from certain elements that they put into the drink. Whatever the drink, the brand name or the name, it doesn't matter. But you're drinking poison to the system. That poison to the system is going to affect your sexual function. If something is affecting your brain and the way you think and have you on a short fuse, you don't think it's going to affect your sexual function? You may think that if I drink this product, I will be able to perform well sexually. And I don't deny that. It will happen to some individuals, but not to all. Just as how Richard was talking about, everyone has a reaction to anything that you take. The very same thing when you drink one of these energy drinks, your body is going to react to it depending on the person, your body weight, your body type, the amount of sleep that you need. There are some persons who need less sleep than others. The type of work that you do. That's why they tell you when you're taking these things, do not operate heavy machinery. Same thing like taking a cough syrup. Because it's going to affect your mental capacity. And that could cause injury to others. Do you want to find yourself in a situation where the things that you're putting into your system is causing not only a breakdown within you, but a breakdown outside of you? So those are the questions you have to ask yourself. So that alarm system that we have, understanding how much we need to understand our sexual system, our behavior, our patterns, the things that are going to stimulate you. And it's like a client coming to me at 54 years of age, tell me I would like to have an erection as when I was 18. Yeah. That's impossible.
Of course.
But that's what they ask you. That's what they're asking you. They're asking you to create a miracle where there's no miracle. Simply because in their mind, their performance at 18 was so fantastic, they want to get back there, but they didn't think about all that happened between 18 and 54. That would have changed you from an 18-year-old to a 54-year-old man. The poor habits that you may have had, at 18 you may be playing racing and football and cricket and other sports, cycling, swimming, going to the river, being active. And now at 54, you no longer do those things because you say, boy, that back pain I have, I can't do that. So you are not paying attention to those things because you are a changed human being. So when somebody asks me, could you make me feel like when I was 18 years, I said, I'm not a miracle worker. Not even God could do that. Because there's no reversing of the age. Now you could help the person to get a better erection. You can help them to have a more turgid erection. But if at 18 you're having sex, let's say 5 times for the week, at 54, be contented if you could have sex twice for the week. Be contented with your partner, whoever it is you're having sex with. Even if it's multiple partners, know how to adjust that to suit you. And let's face the reality, when I talk openly because there are lots of men at 54 who have multiple partners, despite the fact that they're married. Even if they're married, they still have additional partners. And there's some women, the very same thing. They may be getting one thing from the husband and something else from the other person. Because there are lots of fantasies that women have within themselves. There are lots of needs that they have sexually that they cannot get it from their husband, because if they go to their husband and they tell their husband, I would like to try so and so, the husband may lose respect for them because the husband never look at them in that way. And that's another thing that happens in our society, in most societies. You will not think that your wife would like to do those things because you put your wife up on a pedestal and you say, yeah, she not like the other woman out there. But not realizing the fact that she is like the other woman out there. She do have feelings like other women out there. So when she asks you, or if she indicates by movement or otherwise that she would like to do something that is different from what the pristine woman that you see in her would want to do, you start questioning your sexuality or questioning her sexuality or her behavior or where she learned that. But it may be her nature to want to do these things. There are things that women want to do out there. And I'm not casting aspersion on all women. There are things women want to do out there where they don't have that opportunity with their partner to do, their husband to do. But it's in their brain. And when something is in your brain, a number of things could happen. You can suppress it and work it out of your system and it goes. You could suppress it, but it keeps eating away at the back of your mind, so it becomes stressful. You could try to suppress it and it overcomes you, or you could let it flow and deal with it. Now, dealing with it have a number of different ways to deal with it. You could deal with it privately by watching porn, masturbating, other things. You could deal with it by having a sex partner or somebody who understands that part of you and willing to help you to overcome whatever, not overcome is not the right word, help you to experience these things. And there are those who want to take advantage of it and pull you in and make you into one of their conquests. They have different ways they could do. But how do you know? You don't know. You don't know the characteristics of an individual if you get involved with them sexually. The characteristics of the person changes over time. Let's say the person falls in love with you and wants you to leave your husband. What happens then? Or they might try to use blackmail now. All these things do happen. And that's the reality of life. So some people say, well, she looked for it, she should never have an outside man. But the inside man was never doing what was supposed to be done to keep her inside. Sometimes we are quick to blame the husband or the wife, But my job, where I sit, I listen to what the person has to say. I listen to the other person, the other party or parties involved, and I help the person to cope with whatever is going on based on what is actually happening to the individual. Because sometimes you may not understand the sexuality of the person, and they themselves don't know how to put it across. For example, bisexuality. Bisexuality is a real thing, Very, very real. But there are lots of men out there who are bisexual right now listening to this program will never admit that they're bisexual. They will not embrace that side of themselves. No. But something would happen later on in life where even though you've tried to suppress that bisexual side of you, something would happen where you'll have the opportunity to experience it. And you may take that opportunity, but it may not be the right one to take. But because you have suppressed it for so long, you jump at anything. Or sometimes you find yourself in a situation where the opportunity presents itself to you, and you weigh the options and you decide to go down that road. And when you go down that road, you feel liberated. Yes, let's take that call. Hello?
Caller, good evening. Okay, they're gone. I gotta go to some commercial commitments here, but tell me something about two people who are hard workers. They're always at work. What happens to their sex life? When they come back?
Join Chatak Food Products as we celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights. Chatak and Power 102 FM wants you to share your recipes using the Chatak products. Submit your recipe to Power 102 FM recipe page on www.power102fm.com from the 1st to the 27th of October. Each week, one lucky person will win a Chatak hamper filled with Chatak products, including their curry paste made from local herbs and spices such as shadow benny, Spanish thyme, sage, ginger, and pimentos, prepared with you in mind. Chatak curry paste allows you the experience of how to bonje
Anil.
and hear the sound. True experience of a real
Sardar.
curry. So make your kitchen a Chatak kitchen with us this Diwali. Happy Diwali from Chatak Food Products.
Visit the state-of-the-art Indian Expo, the Fab India Expo at the White Tent opposite Medford gas station, Chagonas. Enjoy the designer's experience. You name it, we have it. Look different this Diwali. Redesign your home. It's every shopper's best stop. Fab India Expo opposite Medford gas station, Chagonas. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Let's go, boy.
Where, girl?
India InStyle Expo, they're now opened in Mokoya.
Oh, they open.
Yes, and they're my favorite too. You know, they're the only Indian expo that has exhibitors from overseas who come here to participate.
They have the best tasting food.
So what you waiting on, boy?
Indian Style Expo, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Mokoya, closing on Diwali Day.
What are you feeling to eat, boy? Pizza. Nah, some fried chicken. No, pizza. Fried chicken. Pizza. What's that over there? It's chicken plus pizza. It's pizza.
For all lovers of chicken and pizza, the new KFC Pizza is here. No crust, only tasty chicken fillets with zesty tomato sauce, cheese and pepperoni, deliciously melted together. KFC Pizza, it's finger-licking good.
Introducing Izzo. News travels fast. In today's fast-paced world, access to accurate, up-to-date information 24/7 is essential to making critical decisions in your life. Izzo is the Caribbean's newest and most innovative news source, giving you a Caribbean perspective on politics, crime, business, sport, entertainment, technology, and special investigative features. Izzo, IZZSO. Izzo, your information source, designed for your lifestyle. Download the Izzo app for iOS and Android devices. And visit our website at www.izzo.com. Izzo. News travels fast.
I'm Lester Suglaw, inviting you to join me every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, a program designed to soothe your mind and uplift your spirit here on Power 102.1 FM, Power 102.1 FM.
We're back with Sexplosion, Dr. Raj.
So before we go to your question, I want to say a pleasant good evening to my nephew Sachin, who's one of my biggest fans. Indira, Meena, Shiva, Jennifer, Anil, my brother-in-law, Rishad, Lisa, there's that Gloria, Clint, Sabrina. I don't want to miss Laura. Well, I see Sardar was on, but where is Sardar? I had a situation where my 14-year-old boy had confided. Wait, where did it go? Confided with one of his friends that he is curious about the opposite sex. How does a parent go about talking about those situations? If you wait, well, the person is already 14, but if you wait for your child to be 14 years of age before you talk to them about sex and the opposite sex and whatnot, you have put yourself in a corner. You know?
Yeah.
Because when you go to talk to them, what are the words that you're going to use? Mm-hmm. And you have to understand that they will already have some answers. So you better come truthful as ever. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't be truthful when they're younger, but when you start talking to your children when they're young about sex and sexual situations and the opposite sex and feelings and all those things, it's easier to communicate with them as they get older. And there's no embarrassment. When you go to talk to a 14-year-old now, there's a level of embarrassment. But you should be thankful that he has feelings for the opposite sex. And you should take it from there and let him know how wonderful it is that feelings, but how to manage it also.
We have a call on the line.
Yes, sure.
Good evening. Okay.
That line is
Yeah,
not
something
connected.
is wrong with this.
So to answer your question, if you get wrapped up in work, both parents are working, both parties are working, both spouses are working, and you only concentrate on work, you're going to sacrifice something, you know. That's why you have so much failure in marriages today, you know. Failure in marriages is not only about persons not being able to work things out, you know. It's sometimes they're so wrapped up in their own careers and their own life that they don't see the unit of a husband and wife as being important, you know. So they don't invest in that. They don't put enough fertilizer in that. The unit called husband and wife or parenthood or whatever. So they get wrapped up in their work and they sacrifice something else. They sacrifice love. They sacrifice a good relationship. They sacrifice what they could have built and the depth or the strength of it. And you have a breakdown in relationship because of that. So the sexual part suffers also, because if you're so wrapped up in your work and you come home and you're tired, I'm not saying whether male or female, you wouldn't want to have sex, you would just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
All you want to do is when you get home, as a matter of fact, that's what you're thinking about when you're going home. You're not thinking about the sweet spouse that you have home, husband or wife that you have home, that you're going home to, you know. You're thinking, boy, when I get home, I hope it have food on that table and I go take a shower and I'm going straight to bed. Some people think like that, whether it be male or female. Some of them don't want to have a child in the relationship because the child is going to take away from their career path. But I'm not saying have a child to bring the family unit closer together, but a child supposed to help you to bond with your partner, although some child cause division within the relationship because you put the child as, or you make the child the number one priority, which you should give some priority to the child, but the child also is a product of you and your spouse. So your spouse is supposed to have some level of importance in your life. So you have to now learn how to take your love that you have for your child or that you had for your spouse and divide it. Divide it equally so that neither one of them feel as though they're not getting your love.
So what about people who one of the partners will be feeling that way, you're going home to meet this person and you're not excited, and when you get there, they say, I am tired and sleepy.
But that happens also. You come revved up to be loving towards your partner. Now, if it's a one-off thing, it's not a problem, you know. You shouldn't make it a problem. It should not be a problem. And I always like to use myself as an example. Recently, my wife's father died, and she was very busy with the family, coming home very late sometimes. Sometimes I would go and meet her. But when she come home, she's tired. And I have to be accommodating. I have to understand that. Sometimes we, you know, before we would stay up and watch a movie together and whatnot, and 2 minutes into the movie, she's sleeping. I cannot say, well, you're not watching the movie with me, because I have to understand that. So a partner have to understand these are the things that are going to happen. Now, I don't expect that to transform into our lives a month down the line, because then it becomes a habit. Then you're taking advantage of the situation if somebody does that. So you have to manage that. So you have to show that I understand that you're tired, you had a long day at work today. Yes, you had double meetings and whatnot. Fine. Fine. How would you like me to assist you? Want me to make a cup of tea for you? Whatever. But that shouldn't be the excuse next week and the following week or 2 days in a row. Because then they're taking it and making it into a habit. But how does habit develop? When somebody gets away with a habit, a bad habit, the habit starts developing. That's why some guys will go home late and they say, well, one day they go home late and they realize that because of work, they were asked to stay back and what, and they realize they get away with it because the wife a quarrel or the husband a quarrel, and they cool with it. Say, we'll try that next week. So come, well, we had a meeting, you know. We went a little late and they, okay, no problem. And the following week, they do it again. And at the end of the month, the staff having a little lime afterwards and thing. So the Thursday hit the husband that or the wife that, and the Friday hit them the same thing again. Then that's becoming a habit. You're taking advantage of the situation where the person was understanding at the beginning of your situation and suddenly it becoming a habit that you're doing this thing all the time. So you have to be careful about those things. When I started off the program, I have to say a pleasant good evening to my friend VJ. He said, after my birthday lime last weekend, a lot of my stress has disappeared. Music and great company works magic, and the chulha food. I spent a part of his birthday with him on Saturday, and it was one of the most fantastic time I've ever spent in my life with people. It was all karaoke singing and nice, good chulha food, everything cooked on a fireside.
Yeah.
And it was just great. So I again, I have to thank the family for that. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention, I mentioned it now and I'll mention it again. In Debe, we have what you call private shopping. You can call the number in Debe, it's, 366-5843. Yeah, that's the number, 366-5843. You ask for Savitri. See, she makes an appointment with you. You can come outside of the business hour to do your private shopping. One of the things that we're going to implement in those areas also is delivery service. So if they call you 770-8700, that is in Princestown, you tell them what you want, they tell you the price of it and what any delivery fee, they will deliver it for you. They made the very same thing. The 366-5843, I want to make a mistake, 5843, yeah. They can call those numbers and have those things done. So we're trying to be a little innovative because of the area. Sometimes the person may not have transportation to come to the store. Sometimes the person may be shy to come to the store. They could call the store and order something and it's delivered to them, or they could also say, well, here what, my spouse and I would like to come Sunday morning at 8 to view some items and purchase some items and whatnot. And you don't pay anything extra for that. The delivery, you pay extra for the delivery, yes. But not for when you come to shop, private shopping. So you have situations where your spouse or you and your spouse are not investing enough time, effort, and other things in your relationship. And you're so concerned. I have seen many successful persons as far as their career is concerned have a broken relationship. They divorce or separated. And I often say success among individuals is how well you could keep your relationship going. Because your relationship is the most challenging thing you'll ever face. Some person will feel it's your job. Your job is between specific hours. And your job will be based on your qualification. Isn't that so?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to perform well in your job because you qualify for that. Are you qualified for a relationship? Ask yourself that question. Am I, as a human being, qualified for my relationship? That if I get into a relationship with someone, the relationship is going to develop and become stronger in the future as opposed to being weaker. So when I see somebody successful academically and they're not successful in their relationship, it tells me something about the characteristic of the person. You're good at reading books and passing exams. And you may be good at your job or mediocre at your job because you may be stuck in your job at one position and you can't move up or down. As a matter of fact, the boss waited to send you down. But in your relationship, you're not taking your relationship from here and reaching here. So you are a failure in that. That is the way I measure it. I look at, because you're not qualified for a relationship. You know. Nobody has a manual. No one is given a manual when you're born, how to deal with your spouse, how to deal with your husband, how to deal with your wife. You don't have a manual on how to make a relationship or a wedding work, because the wedding is only the start of things.
Flamboyant part.
Yeah. But when it comes to the part where you have to make it work, are you qualified to make it work? What are your qualifications? That's why I tell someone, if you want advice on a relationship, don't go and talk to a divorcee. Never talk to a divorcee. And when I see divorcees, especially in the United States, writing books and giving advice on relationship and making your marriage work and whatnot, they're being a hypocrite. Why didn't you make your relationship work? and they will have an excuse. But I will never listen to them. I wouldn't read their book because they're not successful at what they're doing. If I want to read about success in business, I will read about a successful businessman or the biography of a successful businessman or woman to know the things that that person applied to their lives and why they're successful. That's why jump high, jump low, whether you like it or you don't like it. When Mr. Trump first said that he was going up for the presidency, the first word out of my mouth was, he's going to win, you know. And my wife was like, he? Never. I say, he is going to win. I say, have you ever read his book? The first book I read about him was The Art of the Deal. You could hardly get that book now. That was in the 90s I read that. And when you read about the characteristic of the individual, you realize that when he goes after something, he gets it. So, some persons may not like his policy. They may not like his rhetoric. They may not like his hair.
Yeah, he looks like a full-blown Dennis the Menace.
But the man is successful when he goes after something. And he has the formula in his brain. So he acts it out. It happens. That's what I admire about him. And I keep telling individuals that. I say, I may not like his policy. As a matter of fact, I don't look at his policy because, look, we're speaking of him.
Yeah.
That's why he's going to win another term.
Yeah.
What? He's right there, what, right in our face.
It's true.
But I like the fact of the power of the individual. The power of him. Now some person will say, well, his marriage didn't work. Maybe he didn't want it to work. And he went on to something else. I don't know. That part I'm not looking at. But I'm looking at as far as success in whatever he wants to do. But, so it comes back to the individual now. If you don't want your marriage to work, you wouldn't make it work, you know. It comes back to that. Because you're telling yourself the grass is greener on the other side. The woman I'm with now or the man I'm with now is better than what I have. And I've seen situations, I've heard from some of my clients where they come back and tell me that the woman leave them for a man, but the woman meeting them on the side for sex or whatever, and wishing to come back. I have one client with that situation in Central right now, where the woman left him because she liked to live a flamboyant life. She likes to pretend she's something more than she is. And she gone. But now that she's gone, she's not getting what she used to get from the man. So she's making overtures to come back. Now I can't advise him whether to take her back or not. But when he does, or if he does, you better be prepared to face the consequences thereafter. Because there's going to be consequences. Because you should know the characteristic of the person that you're with. And if the character of that individual is to subjugate you and make you feel less of a man, you're going to continue to feel that way.
Exactly.
How pretty she is and how sexy she is doesn't matter. She is going to make you feel less of a man. So, Sexy Sad, thank you for that beautiful smile. Love it, love it, love it. And somebody send you a smiling picture of themselves. You feel refreshed.
Yeah.
So, these are some of the things that you come across. These are some of the things that somebody come and talk to you about. Now, he can't vent that to any of his friends, his co-workers, his family. But he could come and sit down with a sexologist and discuss it and go in depth into the sexual part of their life, the relationship itself, the things she was doing with the neighbors. He could tell me that because it's not going to go out there. But these are the things that people share with you. And they know. Now, I use certain things as an example because I could, without pinpointing any individual. Now, if the person happens to be listening, they will say, well, it is me. But it is not only you, because there are other persons who have the very same situation. Don't believe for 1 minute that you are the only person experiencing that, you know. There are others like you who are experiencing the very same thing, to a lesser degree or to a greater degree, but there are individuals like you. So, question coming in. Let's see. Good night. I had a situation where. Okay, we read that. So remember, if you have a situation where a person is confides in someone else about something, and they may not want you to know also, but you have to address the question. You have to put it out there. If you're talking to your son or talking to your daughter, you ask them, well, do you have any young ladies you have seen that you like? How do you feel about, the opposite sex or same sex? Because we live in a world now where these things are coming out in the open.
Yeah.
So you ask the question, no. I had a parent came to me about 2 months ago and told me she suspects her son may be gay. So I asked her why, and she told me all the reasons why. So she asked me if I could speak to the son about it. So I asked her if she ever asked him anything about it. She said no, she don't know how to do that. So eventually I was in a situation where I could talk to the son, and we started to talk about something that was happening with him at school. And while talking about those things and whatnot, I asked him about feelings and whatnot, and eventually it came around to sexuality. And in a roundabout kind of way, I asked him about, feelings for other human beings and whatnot, and how he feels when he's in the company of a male or a female. And he described both to me, and from that you could have an idea of where sexuality is heading. But then he's in a formative part of his life. And maybe the experience, now I didn't go into detail because he's underage and his mother wasn't present when I was asking those questions. So I didn't want to go in depth into it because there's a whole legality thing about that. And eventually I asked him about if he ever experienced anything. Right? And he stopped there. That's where the conversation stopped. Because I saw the discomfort in him. Mm-hmm. But you don't know if it is a conditioning of the individual, because he may have been different a year ago, as opposed to getting involved in something or with someone who is introducing something to him. That's where the parenting comes in. That's where the mother and father has to investigate to the best of their ability, with guidance, of course, to find out what exactly is happening. Now, you can't go and report into any truancy board or whatever they have, right? Or whatever they call it. Because you don't want to put him in a situation where all of a sudden he feels guilty about something that maybe his natural sexuality. That is another thing. Because persons come to understand their sexuality at a young age, but they may not be able to put it across there. So there are so many different things you have to look at.
Remember, you're taking your calls at 222-8255 and 612-8255. Sexplosion Thursday with Dr. Raj. And you can also send us your messages and questions. So for folks who are deeply involved in their careers, how you get to break out of that? I mean, sometimes it might be going on unnoticeably,
But you must know if something is going wrong with your relationship. Despite the fact that you are embedded in your career and you are caught up in that, you will know whether you're falling short in your relationship with your spouse. You must have a feeling. You must know if something is going wrong. And if that happens, you have to take stock and find a way to reverse things. Remember how to romance your partner. Remember how to do things that are going to make you feel good. Don't you remember the excitement you had when you thought about your girlfriend or your boyfriend coming to visit you? How many of us remembers that? How many of us remembers the excitement that we got when we know we were going to see our girlfriend, when we were courting, and the little gift we would buy, and the things that we would want to shower the person with? Why, when marriage comes along, those things go out the door? Why? Why can't you do it after?
You think it happens mostly with the female or the male?
I think it happens with both, you know. Female will say more with the male, but I'll tell you both, because some of the females don't do the things that they used to do. You know, your boyfriend coming to meet you this evening, 6 o'clock, 5:30, you in the shower, showering and smelling nice and putting on a little perfume and a little rouge and whatever else to look appealing. You know your husband coming in at 6:30 and you're in the duster coat that he left you with in the morning and the curlers in your hair. I don't know if people still use curlers, but I'm just saying that. I doubt with the advent of...
me laugh. These new styles, I think curlers are out of the door.
I know that, but I'm just using that as an example.
Yes, of course.
But what I'm saying is, if you don't prepare yourself for your partner.
I know some guys would say, I don't know, my wife, like, she hung up the guns.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. The wife hung up the guns, the man hung up the gun, and the relationship is going apart. Because you don't care. Most women, when they get married, they feel that they have captured you. And they have you where they want you.
That's very right.
So they don't need to do the things anymore to keep you or to capture you. Because you put a ring on the finger. Yeah. Because once the ring goes on the finger, what happens there, they feel a sense of comfort. But it's not only the ring on the finger, it's what's keeping the ring on the finger. It's what's keep... The number here is 612-8255 and 222-8255. For the person who asks for the number to call in, 612-8255 or 222-8255, or my personal cell number is 7401961. But don't call me on that number while I'm on the air. I will not take your call. You can send me a message via WhatsApp or messenger service on 7401961. 612-8255. You can call that number, or 222-8255. Call it, we'll answer you in the studio. That's what those numbers are for.
I want to digress slightly to find out something.
But we were going on a nice road there.
Yeah. Now, tell me, people who are deemed prostitutes and stuff, you think people prostitute or use their bodies in that way merely for money or for satisfaction or some kind of
people prostitute themselves in many ways. Marriage is a form of prostitution for some persons.
No, I'm talking directly to the people who would be like on the beat.
You mean actual prostitutes?
Yeah, is it like an addiction, a habit, or
people don't prostitute themselves because of sexual addiction. You know, if you have a sexual addiction, you look for men to have sex with, which is easy to find. If a woman is what you call a nymphomaniac who enjoys sex, you think she needs to go and stand up on the side of the road and have somebody pay her for sex? She's not in it for money. Prostitution is about economics. That's what it is about. How do I feed my child? How do I feed myself? How do I enjoy the things, the trappings of life? How do I pay my rent? That is prostitution. You don't have to stand up on the side of the road to be a prostitute. You know? And I want people to get this into their head. Any woman who has a man taking care of her needs, that is a form of prostitution. It may not be the illegal form of prostitution, but it is a form of prostitution because the only thing you have to give is sex. You know? It's like this. You decide as a young man, you're 27 years of age, to go and get married. Lucille down the road is a very beautiful young lady, going to school and whatnot, and you like Lucille, and you decide to go by Lucille's parents and tell her that you want to get married to her. The father, in his wisdom and whatnot, will ask you, what are you going to have for my daughter? And you say, well, I have a one lot there where I'm building a little house, and I have a car that I use to drive, and I make some money with it, and I have a nice job. Correct? Mm-hmm. Because that is what is wanted for you to marry the man daughter. Mm-hmm. What's she bringing? Mm-hmm. What is she bringing? Answer me that. Does anybody ask the question what the woman bringing? Mm-hmm. What's she bringing? Her beauty? I have 10 women as beautiful as her. What's she bringing? She bringing anything to add to that? What she will say is my love. Yeah. But I accomplished all that before I fell in love with you or I saw you. So what are you bringing for my betterment? That's the question that should be asked. What is the woman bringing to the relationship for the betterment of the individual? So it's not a one-way street. So some women prostitute themselves. They look for a man with a nice car. Or they look for a man who married. I want a married man to take care of me. That is a form of prostitution. There are some women who get married to a man because he's wealthy. That is a form of prostitution. She's not in love with him. She's getting married to him for the trappings that he has. That's a form of prostitution. But if two persons decide to come together through love, appreciation for one another, and build a life together, that's something different. How many times are you finding that now? How many times you finding that now? Answer that question.
That's true. That's a very rare commodity these days.
Yes. Even if a woman has a career and she meets a guy who has a career, when they come in together, it's not to share what they have. It's not. Majority of the time. So, examine those things carefully.
Let me take another short break and we'll be right back.
Join Chatak Food Products as we celebrate Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Chatak and Power 102 FM wants you to share your recipes using the Chatak products.
I know some people, Raj,
your recipe
who like on a Friday evening,
recipe page on
them go and hang out to pick up somebody.
From the 1st to the 27th of October.
Of course. They go to what you call the meat market. MWT. They go to the meat market, a bar. And they hope a man buy a drink for them. Because they have to buy nice shoes tomorrow to go to a wedding Sunday.
So it doesn't know it says where not even got shoes involved. They just like to go by this battle.
Yeah, of course. But there are those who go for that purpose. There are persons who just like to go and hang out.
Yeah.
And have a drink with friends.
I know some people. I know a guy every Friday night. But not me, but me staying in Larry, but he going Sando, he going Marbella, he going to hang out by bars to see me pick up somebody. You know, and it's our women so who hang out by the same bars. Like,
wanting to be picked up.
Yeah, like it's a place in South, a very popular place called Wilkie's. In Marbella, Visabella area there. And I know real people, especially divorcees, and they hang out there religiously. Every Saturday night is there. You understand? Some of them have this kind of special card.
Frequent card.
Yeah, that's that. But that is where they have religiously. They go there every Saturday night. And they're talking about the Sunday when you see them now. So when last time everybody was kidding, boy, see this thing here, Spanish thing, I little Reds, I little Doga, I little Indiana, it have people like that, so like that, but I'm meat market. It is happen. I didn't sometimes when I said, let me go around and hang to them fellas. Sometimes most of the time that's what I hate. You know, who went so last night, who pick up something new. And it's an every weekend thing. That's what I said. Drinking beers up there at night.
overseas who come
And then everybody come together. Like, you know, we was last night by last night by with son. And it's tough. Who saw pussy? Who said before saw pussy because they get no sex? And all that kind of thing. So now I bring the prostitution thing in it. So you go, take it away. I'm going to what?
Nymphomania?
Yeah. It's a plenty of them fuckers over there in the ranch. I said that nymphos. Especially them Venezuela, you know. Because now by the ranch they are going up tonight. From the night it started. They're so populate the Rosy Lang.
The whole lot of that.
But no, there's some areas where they're well concentrated. They're all over. But there's some areas where they're light. You see Rosy Lang to down. But they're plentiful there. All them bars, they are very popular now. All them late night barbecue. It has some bars open up now, and it's only every Tuesday, Friday, striptease. Rather I go so that the road come one way, boy. They park on both sides and make it one lane.
One lane.
You're going across the white line. You're half and half of the white line to go down the road. Yeah. So that's why I say that. Because you know sometimes man feel like, oh boy, that's what I realized last night. So it's like prostituting.
Self-care, stress reduction, mental illness, symptoms and prevention, family wellness, parenting, relationships, communication, family dynamics, abuse, financial wellness, savings, budgeting, retirement, and so much more. Think Twice Wellness.
I go set up the meat market too.
There are two things I address
Brought to
here.
you by Power Boom 94, in association with the Gillette Group of Companies, Himalaya. The best care comes from nature, and Computer and Controls. Think twice. Think twice. Be the best version of you.
Oh yes, be the best version of you. Think twice. Now, from a recreational point of view, Dr. Raj, there are some people who come out on the weekends to have fun, and this is their kind of recreation. And like we were talking off here, we talk about the meat market. People, M-E-E-T.
Meat
Yeah,
market.
tell us something like that.
Before we go there, I want to read something that Rishi sent here. I randomly buy chocolate and flowers for my wife through the years. That's what you should be doing. Just as much as your wife, let's say you have a stay-at-home wife, she may prepare a special meal for you. Not because she wants to eat it, because she knows that's what you like. That's her way of saying, darling, I love you. She may do something different in the home and you may not even notice it to show her love for you. The same way you could do that, but not many men do that. Not many men do that. They don't take the time to do the little things that are going to count.
But suppose you're coming home with chocolates and flowers and a nice bottle of wine and something like that. When you reach that deadbeat situation, you find out
You turn it,
a turn off kind of thing.
somebody says, sorry, President Trump hires ghostwriter, but I'm not saying that he's a good writer. Did I ever say he's a good writer? You idiot. I never said he's a good writer. When they wrote his autobiography, they wrote about him and the things that he accomplished. I never said he's a good writer. Maybe the man can't write. So, Conliffe, you are an idiot if you're taking it into that context. Sorry to say, but I have to tell you that.
So Dr. Raj, although these kind of...
That just has to go to the hatred of the man, Not looking at the accomplishment of the man, but the hatred of the man. Yeah, you're right. Hire ghostwriter. You think if I go to write my autobiography, I will write it myself? I have time to sit down and write anything? You know, people tell me write a book. I don't have time for that. I will hire somebody to do it. But it has to be a proper depiction of me. So Conliffe, you've been a total fool. So let's go.
So even though it could be termed risky, I don't want to say dangerous, risky.
Wait, before we go there now, have people sending things here, so I have to address that. If I don't address that, they will say, good night, sorry, haven't tuned in for a while, very interesting. Thank you very much. This is from Michelle. Can I have, okay, they asked for a contact number. We gave that out already. So we have, I see Charlie's on. Charlie, we miss you Saturday night, boy. Charlie's the cook, you know.
Okay.
Somebody asked a long thing here. It disappeared. From Kimberly. Where's Kimberly? Here it is. So true. When I got married, I had nothing and my husband had nothing. All I had was land, so together we make a living and built a home, and today my husband running woman and they want what he have because they have nothing to give him. They just want what he, forget how we sacrifice our. And that is so true. There are many women who have built a business, a home, a family with their husband, and these husbands are abandoning their wife now for a little piece of red tail now, you know. They want a venue on their side, you know.
I think we'll call that as a sexologist, Dr. Raj.
The fickle-mindedness of people, that is what causes it. They don't look at what was done to get them where. Many successful men and women don't remember where they come from, you know. You know many persons I know, and this is a fact. You remember when the COP came into politics, what they used to call them? Knife and fork Indian.
Yes, yes.
Do you know what that means? Mm-hmm. You forget how to sane food with your fingers and you're eating food with knife and fork.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're no longer grassroots. Mm-hmm. You know many Indians that have out there, or Africans that have out there, forget how to do that? Eat food with their fingers? Or sit down. That is why I always admire Modi, you know, Prime Minister of India. For his birthday, he went home by his mother and she fed him with her hand, you know. This is the Prime Minister of India, you know. Yeah. Sat on the floor, you know. And his mother fed him with her hands, you know. Mm-hmm. How many persons do that? How many persons remember when they go to a wedding nowadays, ask for a plate, and they throw away the suhari leaf? Mm-hmm. They don't even know how to say suhari leaf. They just tell you a fig leaf. I hear Indian telling you they're eating on a fig leaf. We never eat on a fig leaf.
What do you call it?
It's called a suhari leaf.
Okay.
Or a kashibu leaf.
Kashibu.
Yeah. There's no such thing as fig leaf. Mm-hmm. We don't eat on a fig leaf. And I hear Indians who grew up in that don't even know it's a suhari leaf they're eating on. Mm-hmm. Because they have lost it. Yeah. They have lost that part of their lives. I was blown away one day in Miami when I was a student. Went to a roti shop. I was trying to remember the guy name now. Ozzy. Ozzy had a roti shop. And went there to eat. And this guy, red Negro guy, came and ordered a roti and asked for a knife and fork to eat that roti. Boy, we wanted to die. And that man sat there with the fork sticking into the roti and cutting and eating. And I say, wow, he forget where he come from. He forget the joy of holding a roti in your hand and that dal falling on the roti and eating it.
Yes.
Because now he's sophisticated. He has reached America and he can no longer hold a roti in his hand. And that's how life is. People forget where they come from. Yeah. So the same way that the woman helps you to build your life, and the man helps the woman to build a home, and one of them, well, the majority of the time, I'm not saying all the time, the majority of the time is the man looking for tail outside. The wife give him 5 children, you know, but he looking for tail outside. Because the wife is no longer attractive because she give you 5 children. Right? She made 5 children for you, so she's not going to look like a 13-year-old or a 15-year-old or 18-year-old.
It's true.
Or a 28-year-old Venny. When you're looking at that and you're lusting after that because the wife is no longer attractive. And that's the reality of it. And that's how men are. So they go to the meat market.
M-E-E-E-T, right?
Yeah. They go to the meat market, which is the bars and pubs and liming spot, to meet individuals for a tryst. There are women who like sexual adventures too. You know, they'll go and have sex in your car. They'll have sex in the bathroom. They'll give you a BJ on the side of the building because that's what they enjoy. They like that. That is a thrill. So they go to the meat market And the guys also go there to meet someone to have a sexual tryst. He's not going to go there with his wife. He's not going to go there with his regular woman. He's telling the regular woman or the wife that are going to the bar with the boys. But the bar with the boys, no, there's no such thing as a all-exclusive male bar anywhere in Trinidad anymore, you know.
Not anymore.
There is no such thing, you know.
Sometimes there's an imbalance with more female than men.
Correct.
Yeah.
All over Trinidad.
Yeah. And you know it's a trendy thing.
There is no bar, hawk and spit,
Whatever.
to all the way that is exclusive for men anymore.
Especially these days. Yeah,
I'm telling you.
These days.
I am asking you that.
And the power of attraction. You see women are tattooed down, you know, exposing.
Well, the woman, and
tattoos.
some minister said it, and it's the truth. No, it wasn't a minister. It was a person who is in the business arena. She's head of some business community. Who said it, that the woman wants to work there. Don't feel that they're forced to work there. You know, they want to work there because that is where they make their tip. That is where they have all these bars and things now have an extra room, you know. All these bars have an extra room. There's one on Page Main Road over on the highway. There are rooms upstairs. I was told that yesterday. I never went in. No, I was told that yesterday by somebody who went. They say, while having a beer, you go upstairs and you get involved.
Yeah.
And the woman glad if it's a premature ejaculator because you're out of there in 5 minutes. And she makes you money, whatever it may be. But that's the reality of what's happening. There is no bar. If your husband tells you to go and lie with the boys in the bar, there is no bar exclusive to men in Trinidad anymore. There is a woman there or women coming to hang out by the bar or women working in the bar. Long ago it was exclusive, you know. You go in a hawk and spit and there's only man. The only woman you have there is the no-teeth woman who drunk as much as you are.
Or the person
who run in the bar and the wife.
Yeah.
Because she cooking and again your cutters. And there are men who go to watch you also. I know men who just go and watch the bar with a wife.
Yeah, they just had a different kind of in the bar. The
But
people who are
that's the
ushering
reality of how things are. So the men go out for their trysts and excitement. The women go out for the very same thing. There are women who are divorcees and there are women who split up or they know the man doing the same thing. So the man gone. Again, you live in Point 14. You're going with to hang out with the boys. You might reach as far as San Fernando because you're telling yourself you want to be close to home. And she said, well, you know, the girls passing to pick me up. We are bingo night tonight. But them in bingo night tonight in Port of Spain. Looking for the very same thing you're looking for.
Yeah.
But she know you are coming Port of Spain because she know you're doing the thing, you know, but she know you want to be close to home.
Yeah.
But if she tell you she going Port of Spain with the girls, she are doing that regularly as you because you're doing it every weekend.
Yeah.
She do it once a month. Or she. You see this thing they call social media, mister?
I tell you.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
One of these days, we have to do a program of how many persons get horned with this.
I tell you.
Horning does take place on this more than anywhere else. You know?
I would do that.
And why do they horn on social media? Because of a breakdown in family life. Because of something that is lacking in your relationship, because you need to feel good as a man or need to feel good as a woman and you're not getting it from your partner, or because you like to do it and you're good at it.
Dr. Raj, there are some people too who you hear them talking sometimes that they may put in a request for certain things. You know, some women might say, I want this or I want that, or could you get this from me, could you get it from me? And the person is probably not in a position to get it. And they hold you in a kind of a ransom for that, you know.
Yes, because the women who are not your wife and understanding your financial situation, you see, when you are in a relationship with someone, you have your wife, you have your home, you're budgeted for your home and whatnot. She knows that you're working for $2,000. I will tell you you're working for the month, $2,000. You might be working for more because you have another home to mind. She's going to sacrifice and make that $2,000 work, you know. You're not. She will make it work. She will take that $2,000, and women have this thing called barakat in Hindi, where they will take that $2,000 and that $2,000 will feel like $10,000.
Yeah, they're good like that.
They're good like that.
Yeah.
You know, being the worthless man that you are, not you personally, but men,
Yes, yes.
have 2-3 women because they're doing a nice job, so they have a nice. One person told me, he said, when them men walking with that coverall, them capture any woman they want, you know. Because that coverall with that pee day.
Yeah.
Well, now it has no pee again. Now it has urine. But before, when they walking with that pee day,
Yeah.
any woman they want they could get because they're looking for money.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are women who look out for that. But the woman who looking out for the wife sacrificing with $2,000. But the woman on the outside know you working there. And because she had about 10 men who was working there, she know exactly what salary you get. So she want to get a haircut that costing $500. Your wife say, well, I'll go this week, I will go next month. When we have a little extra change. Or the neighbor will give me a little cut and I go, oh, she had $20 or $200. Eh? Tell your outside woman to do that now? She know anything about sacrificing with you?
And should you fall short? The change gear.
Should you fall? Well, I tell guys, I say, if you feel that the Spanish woman that you have on the side of you is in love with you, I'll put you through a little experiment. I will just ask the young lady, how much our guy does give you a month? $1,200? $2,000? $12,000? Darling, you come with me again 15. See how fast she leave your side and come on my side. See how fast that happening. I only have to take off $15,000 and handshake in she hand, so she leaving you. Because that is what it is. The love is not for you, the love is for your money. The whole thing is about what you could provide for me. And if you're stupid enough to do it, they're going to take it from you. And some guys will say, well, I no big deal, I have the money. Yeah, you have the money, no big deal. But money is something that's run out, you know. And sometimes you start to lose everything. Because the barakat, which is the wife, you're taking care of she. And in Hinduism, they teach you the wife is the Lakshmi of the house. And anytime you are treating the Lakshmi good, all your fortunes just go here. What is happening there? So sometimes you end up losing everything and you cannot figure out. I know one guy boasted to a friend of mine that the amount of money he has, he have enough money for 3 generations of his family to all be millionaires. So when he made that that boast, certain party was in power, he was a hierarchy of the party, things come and shift around, things change, partner working for him, the man can't pay a bill, you know. Same man who boasts about that, you know.
I tell you. Remember, you can join us at 222-8255 and 612-8255. Feel free to call us. Don't be afraid. Join in the conversation. Ask questions. Sexplosion Thursday.
Thank you very much, Wendell. You just sent me something there. But it's the reality of life and things. You know, sexologists are social anthropologists. We look at the world through what is happening sexually with people. We look at the world with relationship and how people adapt to certain changes in situation in the country. What is happening now in Trinidad is not new, you know. Do you know that?
When you say that, explain that question to me.
Okay.
What is happening now is not new. I
The
think it's an
influx.
explosion.
No.
What you're talking about.
No. Now you are more aware of it because you're an older gentleman who is wiser to the world. You're a celebrity on the air. You are on the road. You interact with people, and you have to traverse where was a double lane into a single lane almost every night. So you've seen it because it's happening in a different arena. But there was a time that people would come here from Guyana and do the very same thing. They'll move into a village, one woman, get married to someone in that village, and before you know it, your whole family in the village. And there are other men in the village. She'll take them back to Guyana, and they'll get married to her sister and her cousin and her auntie and then all of them will come to Trinidad as a stepping stone to go to America.
Let's try this call. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, listen to all your other topics about relationships and the problems of relationships. But one thing I like to mention, right, because it's happening around me with one or two partners I might have with women especially who love and money and comfort and have problems. These fellas have this disease, boy, and using it as advantage this woman because this woman weak. Spreading a disease spread by this boy.
Well, disease has always been spread by sex, you know. Don't feel like something new, you know.
No, I understand what I'm saying too, but
yeah,
but
yeah, well, no, but there's a simple solution to that. If you want to have sex with me, let's go by the lab and get tested.
Wait, you have time for all that?
Well, if they don't have time for it, then deal with the consequences.
You talk, your relationship going down and everything nice, you looking, everybody looking. You have no sign mark and you say, well, I sick now.
Correct. Correct. No, but you are correct. I'm not saying that you're not correct, you know. But what I'm saying is that if you want to get involved with someone, I could tell you this, that the majority of individuals who have been tested at our lab, who come from a certain place, has a certain type of STD. It's a It's a treatable STD, but they have the STD. It comes with them because of where they come from. We don't have that strain, or we don't have the antibodies for it or whatever, but we get it. And we end up being carriers, and you carry it home to your wife, and the wife, when a man gets it, and somebody else passes it on or whatever. But it's real. It's very real. Don't think that it's not real. And that's a very good point that he's making there.
Yeah. Because that is what is happening big times now. I mean, people just floating around and saying...
But that's what I'm telling you. Now it is in your face. That's why I tell you social media.
Yeah.
If 10,000 persons were getting horn in normal circumstances a year before, 10 years ago, now with smartphone and whatnot, it is 10 times that. It's 100,000 people. It's not double, you know. It's 10 times that.
You think the social issues that affect people, and you know, there are some people, both partners sometimes are not satisfied with how things are going home and decide, well, you see me, I'm frustrated as I'm going at the meat market.
Yeah, of course. There are guys who would, there are those who make a bacchanal Thursday so they could go online Friday. You never do that before?
Well, I don't want that. You know, I know people doing that, you know, create a bacchanal and see me, I'm staying home at night and they ride out, you know.
Yeah, they look to create a bacchanal with the wife Friday morning before they leave.
But that's vice versa. Eh?
Yeah, but not so much with women. Not so much with women. I know guys who will create a quarrel Friday morning so that Friday evening they have to go back home. Well, I'm late. Let the wife suffer home. But them out having a good time because they know they create a bacchanal. And when they come home, the wife will say, oh, darling, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tell you that. Oh, God. I know that's why you stay out, you know. That is not why you stay out. You plan to stay out. So instead of you sitting at home and moping, find something to do. Get a vibrator, watch a porn, call up a friend, send a text message to Mac Daddy or me, and we will chat with you. Because if he could play the game, we could play the game too.
But, you know,
isn't that so?
Yeah. But knowing that, like you said, there's so much, well, I am more concerned about STIs than STDs because I think STIs...
Well, you can't get STDs and STI by chatting on this.
I know, but it can lead to that.
It could lead to that, but that's what I tell you. If I am chatting with you over a period of time on social media, I will have a I would have a fair idea about your characteristics.
But some people run into that social media thing and all kind of things happen after.
Well, let me give you a joke. Today, a young lady came for a job. And in the interview, I said, why would you have such a disgusting name as your name on social media? She said, what are you talking about? I said, well, are you so and so and so and so? 4 names she has in reference to herself. So she looked at me in shock.
How you knew that?
How do you know that? I said, well, when somebody sends me something, I investigate him. I don't take anything for face value.
Right.
She said, well, you must be one of the only person. And when I showed her how I found out, she was in shock. Because the name that is associated with her is not a name you'll want to be called outside. But people do that. Well, she didn't do it. Somebody did it to her. So she went on and she explained that and whatnot. But the point is, if you have an analytical mind, and if you have the ability to think through things and see beyond it, you will figure out how things are. You will. And then you will know whether you should ask the person to go and do a STD, STI profile. Both of you should do it. You should know the precautions that you have to take. You should know what you should or should not do. Isn't that so?
That's true.
But if you allow your penis to do the thinking or your vagina to do the thinking,
Problems.
you're in problems. You know, people just call me afterwards and say, boy, doc, last night I had do something there, but I'm feeling that itching this morning. I said, don't worry, I go hit you so quick. That's your mind playing tricks on you.
Yeah.
But to be safe, let's find out your status now. Now it's only $850 that you have to spend now. But a month down the line, you have to spend that $850 again to make sure you didn't pick up anything between that time and there was a gestation period and it manifested itself now a month down the line. And then 3 months down the line, you have to do the same thing again. So that's how much? $2,550, correct? And then 6 months down the line, you have to test again.
But to me, like the young generation now, they just have a time. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's unsafe most of the time, and that's why if the young generation wants to have sex with you, you take the young person to the lab, you pay the money, so that you don't have the headache after, and find out the status at the moment. And when you find out the status at the moment, hit it at that time.
Yes.
Because tomorrow the status might change.
I tell you.
Tomorrow the status might change.
Yeah.
But if you go to a good lab like the lab we deal with, it will tell you if the status is going to change soon.
All right.
There are ways to tell those things. There are ways to do that. Everything there's a way, you know. You see all these rapid, now I know a lot of people say, well, we do a rapid test. But be careful of this rapid test thing, you know, mister.
Contraceptives and things, Dr. Raj.
So contraceptive is something that should always be used, not only because of STDs and STIs, but because of pregnancy and whatnot. They are, the safest form of contraceptive would be the condom. You have the female condom also, you have the male condom, you have the condom with spermicide, you have condoms with different types of chemicals added to it. You have condoms that you could be allergic to also, you have to be careful, so know the condom that you're using. Other types of contraceptives they have out there. There are women who take the injection every 3 months or 6 months. There are those who are on the pill. So there are different things that you can use as a means of contraception.
Where the pills and injections are.
But the pills and injection would...
Earlier on with Skippy and they were talking about side effects. What kind of side
Everything has side effects.
Yeah?
Everything has side effects. Every single thing you put into your body that is not natural, that is not natural forming, has side effects.
How do like injections per se, or tablets per se, affect the women in particular? side effects we're talking here?
Well, it depends on what. Some women, it affects their hormone levels. It affects their feelings, their ability to get pregnant later on. So there are a number of things that affect you. But you have to know what works for you. Some women are irritated when they use
certain
a product.
Yeah.
Some women don't feel good. They're upset all the time. So you have to know what works for you. But the reality of it is this. We are sexual beings.
Yeah.
Human beings are sexual beings. You were sent here to have sex.
And multiply.
And multiply. Go forth and multiply.
Yeah.
But fortunately for human beings, going forth and multiplying does not depend on a woman having a calling time. When she's in heat, you could have sex anytime. She will get pregnant only around a certain time in the month, providing all things being equal. Meaning she have a regular period, she ovulating and all those things. But human beings have the ability and capacity to enjoy sex. Some other animals do. Dolphins and whatnot do. But we know how to have sex for pleasure. Right? So let's remove sex though. You like a river lime. What does a river lime do to you?
Relaxes.
Gives you pleasure.
Yeah.
So you go to a river lime. What does going to the cinema do to you?
Pleasure.
Gives you pleasure. You go to the cinema. What does going and hang out in the meat market do to you? Gives you pleasure. You go to the meat market. We indulge in the things that gives us pleasure, don't we?
It's true.
So you're going to tell human beings don't have sex? The persons out there who want to tell other persons, about abstinence and being able to control yourself and don't think about sex, you're telling us to go against the natural grain and the natural way of doing things. You know? It's not going to work. It is not going to work. You will falter. You will find
what
a
happens
way.
in instances of distant relations?
Long distance relationship?
Yeah.
Long distance relationship could work, providing you put what you need to put into it.
Some women would say they can hold out a lot longer than men with that sex appeal and sex urge.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Because women think about sex differently from men. And there are some women who could stifle that because they've been conditioned to stifle it. A young woman feeling horny is not encouraged to masturbate. A young woman feeling horny is not encouraged to go and have sex. The young man, if a young man come by you and tell you, boy, I always have a erection and I like that, and you say, go and find something and hit it, and you go tell him that, let your daughter come and tell you the same thing now. No, as a father, let your daughter come and tell you the very same thing. Daddy, I feel horny and I want to have sex. You going to encourage you to go and have sex?
That's right, it's called. Good evening.
Doctor, big man, greetings to each and everyone.
Greetings.
I will clear something there for me. Like, me have a friend who went to the doctor. Well, he's a Christian. He and his wife have a little misunderstanding, so then they for a little while. And the doctor tell him he need to have sex, otherwise he will become... He ain't going to be healthy. So he need to do... So I want to know if that is true or false.
Yes.
That a guy needs to have sex, otherwise he will be unhealthy if he don't have it.
Well, we said that earlier. Use it or lose it. And if the doctor diagnosed that part of your problem is your lack of sex, he will encourage you to have sex.
Would that what the man tell me? The man tell the doctor encouraging it, and he's a Christian watching the doctor like if the doctor mad, the doctor...
I don't understand what he means, but he's a Christian. Well, Christians don't have sex? When somebody says that he's a Christian or I am a Christian, what does that mean? that you're better than other people, that
Or are they
because...
putting up a barrier? Or...
What does that mean? I want somebody to explain what that means, you know.
I've heard that many times.
I am a Christian. What does that mean? That you're better than me? That because I'm a Christian, I have to honor you?
Yeah.
What does that mean? No, I asked the question, what does that mean? Honestly, and I mean in all spheres, you know. When it comes to sex, when it comes to money, when it comes to driving. So a Christian don't bad drive? A Christian never run off the road? What does it mean? Please, somebody explain it in depth. I want that explanation.
But I've heard that many times. You know.
So you go to the doctor. We're going to tell the doctor, I am a Christian, so I'm not going to have sex with my wife. Does that mean being a Christian?
Oh, I'm getting sick and...
I don't understand that. Honestly, I don't. But I tell you, when somebody tells me I'm a Christian, I feel they try to put me down. Because I'm not. Because Hitler used to tell people, tell them that you are a Nazi. I'm a Nazi. Yeah. That means you're no good. That's how I equate it. Because Hitler was a Christian.
Yeah.
And he was a Nazi. That's how I equate it, you know.
Yeah.
That we are superior to you. So please stop that when you're talking to me. I tell people, stop that when you're talking to me. Because you're not superior to me. You're not better than I am. I am a Hindu, but I don't go about telling people I'm a Hindu before I say anything. A Hindu will never do that. A Sanatanist will never do that. We will never put our religion before anything else by saying that I am that. We live our life according to a Sanatan Dharma way. Full stop. So when I hear somebody say them kind of crap, it has riled me up. Because you're telling me I am inferior to you when you use that. But if the doctor tells you that, you're supposed to ask the doctor what is going to happen. That's why when we were doing the program, I told you, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And if you lose that ability to connect with your spouse, two things happen, you know. You live a miserable life, dissatisfied with one another, bringing frustration and strife to each other, and you're stressed out. That's the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, sexual feeling is not limited to one period in the month with a man. Because men will get up with a morning erection, we say it's a pee stand, there's no such thing. Because every time you wanted to pee, you would have get a stand. There's no such thing as a pee stand. You get a morning erection because of the level of hormones in your body. During the night, the body replenishes itself. This is biology. Basic biology. You go to sleep tired. That's why if you go, excuse me, and load a truck with sand, you get tired. You go and sleep, next morning you get up, you feel refreshed, and you're good to go. A bowler bowling, he bowl 20 overs for the day, he tired, he go and sleep, take a cold water bath and he go and sleep. Next morning he get up, he come back and bowl another 20 overs. Be mentally tired and see if you can go to sleep and wake up refreshed. That don't happen. Mental tiredness is something different. That's where mental instability comes in. That's why you have a high percentage of people who are committing suicide, and you have a high percentage of Trinidadians who are mentally unstable. And we have to face the fact. So I wonder if they say I'm a Christian, I'm mentally unstable. Oh, anyway, yeah. So, if you allow those things to creep into your relationship, what's going to happen? Not a breaking up of the relationship, a falling apart of the relationship. Because you have all these things, factors that are working against you in some way or the other. You have all these fights, little fights that you're fighting. But the doctor or somebody who's knowledgeable tells you that we have sexual feelings. Throughout our life, throughout the month, throughout the weeks, throughout the days. You get up with a morning erection, 2 o'clock in the evening, you sit down by your office, a girl pass across and you get erection. That doesn't mean to say you go and have sex, but it means you're healthy. But if you stop utilizing that erection that you're getting, erection is eventually going to stop, you know. So as I was telling you about the guy who goes to sleep tired, He gets his full 6 hours of sleep without waking up to urinate or whatever. And by his 7th and 8th hours, the testosterone is highest. So what happens? You get an erection because your testosterone is highest. That's the mechanics of it. If people can't understand that, then something is wrong with you in understanding basic biology. Has nothing to do with God. Has to do with biology of the human being.
Exactly.
Now, it has to do with God if you believe God make man. Because, again, it comes back to one thing. The only thing that creates is God and sex. So sex has to be godly. That beauty of sex that was given to us wasn't just given to us to procreate, you know. It was given to us to enjoy each other, to enjoy different situations and things. Why does a blowjob feel so nice as opposed to penetration sometimes? Because it's part of sex. But those who have never experienced it will say, I talking stupidness and I encouraging bad things. But I'm not. I'm being a realist. This is what life is about. These are the gifts we were given in our lives to utilize, to use, to cherish, to make ourselves better. The gifts that were given to us. So how could it be wrong?
I tell you, there are lots of people who use that as a form of partitioning and in defense of.
Well, again, it comes back to, if you are using it as a sense of partitioning and in defense of, all you are doing is lessening yourself as a human being. If all these things that are out there are supposed to make you feel a particular way, if you utilize it properly, maybe with the right partner too, because sometimes the person you married is not the right partner for you sexually. That's another debate there, you know. Sometimes you fall in love with somebody and you say that this person is your is everything. But he or she is not compatible with you sexually. Because he or she cannot bring out what's best in you, and you cannot do the same thing for him or her. Or maybe you could bring out the best in him or her, and he cannot bring out the best in you.
What's the end result of that? How do you fix that?
Well, you could either suppress it and let it fester as a sore and destroy you mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and otherwise. Or you could ask the person to step up to the plate and give you what you need, and if the person is incapable of doing that, you find a solution otherwise. You find another solution. You get a toy, you look at porn, you masturbate. The same things I said before. You find a lover. You find somebody who's going to allow you to be who you want to be sexually. No, that goes against the grain of marriage. It goes against everything. But it's the reality of sex.
I agree.
I really am not concerned who agree with me or not. Not to put it on, man.
I know, yeah.
I am here to give you the information for you to think. If you think I'm wrong, I am wrong. If you think I'm right, I am right. If you think that what I say may make sense, may make it sense. Because you'll never learn. If you think what I say make a lot of sense, you may say, yeah, but that make a lot of sense, but I'm not going along that road. It is a personal choice. It is a personal choice what you decide to do and how you decide to carry about yourself when it comes to these things. Isn't that so?
It's true.
All right. So that is your personal choice. I am here to just give you information. If you want to shoot the messenger, go ahead.
It's true.
But I have the message. I have the information about sex and sexual things and behavior and patterns and whatnot. And if you think that I should be saying it, well, somebody else will say it. But you know the funny thing about it in Trinidad, if a white man come and tell you that, you say a white man say that, you know. You say a man from America come and say that, you know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people we are, you know. It has to be true because a white man come and say that.
Yeah. That's another thing about something.
We always want endorsement from a white man.
Yeah. How come?
Because we feel inferior about ourselves. That's why. We need to validate ourselves based on what a white man thinks about us, or what a white man says him.
Yeah.
We have to have that validation all the time. Mr. Saldin, huh? Try to sneak in, eh?
Yeah.
You see, we say the word white man and he walk in.
Yeah.
He could be from behind the bridge, you know, but his color cannot hide. You're laughing, think to cry, you're laughing. It's you we dealing with here.
Yes.
But we always, you see, we cannot accept the fact that we, meaning we, people of color, could be more of an expert than the man with a white skin.
Yeah, some people believe that.
Oh yeah, they believe that strongly. So that's why I tell you, I am on the air saying this, and somebody will say he talking stupidness.
Yeah.
But a person of color say a white man say the very same thing. It's acceptable.
Yes. Oh boy.
Junior Saldana, boy. So we have reached the end of our program for tonight, because I know Junior needs about 5 minutes to set up his Wait tonight.
Gospel.
Oh, yes, there's gospel music tonight. You know, he's a man that wears many hats, you know.
Yeah.
One night is gospel, another night is sex, another night is pan, another night is pop.
Yes.
So he, all type of different things. You're a well-rounded man.
Yes. He is. That's
So I can't sit here and say, well, this is the program that he's going to present tonight.
No.
And next night he might be the voice of BBC.
So, folks, this is where we wrap it up for Explosion.
Yes, we're wrapping it up.
Thursday. Dr. Raj will be back tomorrow.
Yes, with my good friend, provided that we have a program tomorrow, because sometimes
I think
there's a political broadcast.
Yes,
I think
they're in Belmont tomorrow.
I think we may have a political broadcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if we have a political broadcast tomorrow, that will mean no.
So true.
So, folks, we have to find out if the political broadcast is going to interfere
I believe it will.
with us.
I believe it will. Yeah.
Good night, folks. Until we meet again.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Raj. That's it for me for today. And, of course, for the week, I'll be back with you on Sunday morning, God's willing.